Hello, it's me, that divination witch. I hope you're doing well. We're back with another reading video. Today, speaking with the goddess Babalon. If you don't know who Babalon is, she is found in Thelema. I've got her necklace on today. And she is, I suppose, an archetype. Well, all deities are. An archetype of, let's say, the more primal side of the divine feminine. She is said to be mother of abominations, mentioned in the Bible, all this. She's the scarlet lady. Now, I have the Thoth tarot that I'm using. This was a tarot deck created by Aleister Crowley. And Thelema is a religion created by Aleister Crowley. And I do see Babalon as more than just an archetype. I do see her as a goddess in her own right. Perhaps a newer take on things, but she is a being. And if you've been keeping up with my personal journey on the channel, then you will know I'm going through the Cliff-Oath right now. I'm currently in Gamaliel at time of filming. Been working very much with Lilith, and I always have anyways, regardless of this. But I'm meeting a lot of other people. Babalon is just one. I have met Babalon before, but I do feel very aligned with her right now. And that is not to say that her energy is merely lustful and sexual, although that is a big part of who she is. She's more than that. And so I'm called to ask her to help us today. So yes, let's get into the reading. And just before we do get into the reading, I want to just say welcome or welcome back. I'm Sarah, that divination witch. The channel is a safe space. You can ask questions. Nothing is silly here. Ask. It's a witchy community. And if you want to join the community, hit subscribe. And if you want to support the channel further, I do have all my links below. I've got a shop, a website, I've got Patreon. We're going through the Year of the Dark Goddess at the moment on there, which is very exciting. So yeah, check it out if you're interested. Okay. I feel it right to say in nomine Babalon. That means in Babalon's name. As a collective, we can do great things. But the thing is, we don't, as a collective on the whole. There are the odd exceptions, of course, with anything. But a lot of us, we hold back. We hold back on our true feelings. We hold back on our true intentions. And we don't fully live in our truth. And yet, that's not impossible to do so. She gave the Chariot first, which is about success. She gave Knight of Cups reversed, which is the blockages from our feelings, our heart. And she gave the Six of Swords, which in the Thoth tarot is science and logical. Six of Swords and Rider-Waite is all about, you know, finding the solution to problems. Even though it might not be the easiest solution, you will find it. I feel it's a similar meaning here. It's ruled over by Mercury too, if you look at the symbolism, because Aleister Crowley was very much about that. And if you look at all the swords meeting in the middle, I feel like there are many options that we may have to express ourselves, to be ourselves. Many different roads that we could go down. Why don't we find a solution in the middle? And science is very logical. It's very thought out, calculated. We need to address what holds us back. I think and I feel that this is a problem across the board, no matter where you're from in the world. Could be all walks of life. It's just modern society, to be quite frank. We're suppressed a lot. And Babalon is telling me right now she is not just abomination, as they called her. She doesn't care about being called that, by the way. She embraces that. Much like Lilith, you're going to call me a demon, I'll be a demon. Although Babalon is not that. But it's not just about folly. She says folly. It's not just about enjoying yourself and ecstasy and, sexual endeavors, let's say it like that. It is about freedom. It is about liberation. We are not liberated peoples. We may feel like we're liberated, especially in the Western world, because it's very calculated in that we have the illusion of freedom. But how free are we really? That's what Babalon is saying. And what is freedom? Where does freedom come from? Does it come from actions that you take, or does it come from an emotional state as well? Or is it a mix of both? I feel it's a mix of both. And I feel she wants to say that if you can't think and feel like a free person, then you never will be. Even those in history, she's putting dark things in my mind. So how do I put this across? Those in history who didn't have freedoms, and I'm not talking just one time period, but there are people even now in the modern world that are held against their will in some situations. And she's reminding me as well that will is a big teaching that Crowley had. Will is the law, and without will we are nothing. So even when people are held against their will, and this is something Hecate taught me too, we always have freedom of what's in here. And people may try and control our minds out of fear and other tactics, but ultimately it's what's really inside that counts. And even if you are, in a situation where you're brainwashed or something, which is very extreme, I know, but is it very extreme? Because I feel like we are being brainwashed en masse, really. There's a lot of sheep. There's a lot of people that cling to religion and cling to not just religion, but even their friendship groups, on a small level. They cling to things out of safety in numbers, and that's a very instinctual impulse, really, at the end of it all. But I feel that's the case, that we're not embracing that side of things. Our will is lost, and without our will, we are nothing. We are but drones. We are but sheep ourselves. Just seeing what else she may like to say. Didn't expect her to say that, to be honest, but it totally makes sense to me. Okay. Sometimes we need to destroy what we know to build what we want. So we've got the tower first, which is about destruction. It is tearing it all down. And I feel like as a collective, the world's in a tower moment. The world is really in a tower moment right now. But we need to tear down the old to make way for the new. 4 Cups. And it's luxury in the Thoth Tarot. And 4 Cups is about security, in this regard, security of thought and emotion. 4 Cups in Rider-Waite is normally like pondering, contemplation, thinking, introspection. And here I feel like we need to tear things down to build it back up emotionally, to have that sense of being, to have, like she said, our will. We need to destroy what confines us, the ties that bind us. We are in bondage, we are in chains, metaphorically, with the illusion of freedom, as she has already said, but illusions are quite convincing. We need balance. This is normally, well, in Rider-Waite, this would be temperance. In this deck, it's art. And temperance is about balance, okay? And we do need that. But it's a balance of the practical and the emotional. It's, how do I put this into words? It's getting back in touch with our creative minds, our creative brains, our emotional side, which a lot of people would say that's the left-hand path, that's feminine energy. And it's not to say everyone has to follow the left-hand path, of course not, but we do need balance. We need both. We do need a set of structure to outweigh emotions, because if we had a society that's full of emotions and no structure, then we'd be basically in the same position but different, you know. Right now it's more structured manipulation, controlling, when we need both, essentially. So she's saying we need both sides to live and to function. And for all she is the divine feminine, mother of abominations, all these things, she is liberation, she is freedom, she is the creative soul, she is a symbol of that. On the flip side, in Thelema, now I'm no Thelemite, and there are Thelemites on YouTube. Go look them up, and if you're interested in it, do it. It's not something I'll ever follow to a T. I'm just embracing this goddess outside of doctrine. You know, I'm just not a fan of doctrine. But I respect it, you know. I don't fully agree with everything. But anyways, she wants me to point out that on the flip side, you have the beast, which the beast is, if you look up the Whore of Babylon from biblical text, you will see she rides on the back of this literal beast. It's like a dragon thing with 10 heads or whatever. It's draconic energy, the red dragon, as occultists would call it. The red dragon is another symbol for Lucifer, another symbol for the devil. It's the yin and yang in a darker sense of feminine and masculine. Now in Thelema, for all I'm seeing Babylon as her own goddess, and I believe that, and I believe the beast is his own god. People in the religion are also archetypes, and so you know how you can be a high priestess or whatever. You could be a Scarlet Lady, you could be Babylon on earth. It's just part of the religion. So Crowley himself would name himself the Beast, okay? But he is not Crowley, but the Beast is her counterpart, you know? So we can't have one without the other. So even in that, in all practices, really, if you boil it down, there's always a masculine and feminine. Even something like Wicca, which is a bit more, I guess, love and light. But even that's got the horned god and the goddess, you know. And even outside of more modern practices like that, ancient paganism, even go back to the first ever recorded religions of Mesopotamia, you had the feminine and the masculine, you know. And we need both. But for too long, the feminine has been pushed down. And I've said this before, and I've picked it up off my other goddesses, that we, the feminine, as a collective, are rising again. We're waking up. Now, I'm not saying it's women versus men, because we all have female and male energy, and we all need both. And right now, I'm very, very, very in my feminine energy. But there's times I have worked with masculine, and I need that. You know what I mean? And you can't have one without the other. You may be one way more inclined, but we need it all. And that's what she is basically saying to us, that for freedom, we've got an illusion of it, But to be truly free, we have to embrace both sides, and we have to start thinking for ourselves. We have to start using our noggins and stop being manipulated. Oh. As if, yep, tower again. She gave the tower again. Very much tear it away. And this is coming about quickly. We've got 8 of wands, sorry. Oh, don't drop the card. In this deck, it says swiftness. Well, it is. In Evening Rider-Waite. This change needs to come about quicker than we realise. And it's oh, yes, it's happening. Whether we realise it or not, it's make or break right now. And I don't mean to get political, and I'm not projecting my political beliefs onto a goddess here, but I do feel like what's going on in America is a catalyst. Whether you agree with them or not, I don't care. But what I do care about is the catalyst for change. The straw that broke the camel's back, Ace of Wands. We can use this time, no matter what we believe politically, all right? We can use this time to seek out new beginnings, new opportunities, to get in touch with that creative mind, that emotional side, find answers for ourselves through promises given by these world leaders. And I'm not just calling out Trump, basically. All so-called leaders of the world promise you the blooming a utopia. You know what I mean? They'll promise you bullshit and deliver nothing. That's what it feels like. At least to me, it does. And I feel like that's coming across, that we need to look at this as a mass collective, whether it is someone like your politicians, but not just politicians, even boiling it down to like who you work for. What do you work for? You're lining someone else's pockets. Why not line your own, kind of thing? I've been in jobs like that where it's like thankless corporate jobs and stuff like this. And there's a lot of them out there. And a lot of us don't have a choice given the way of the world. But getting in touch with the creative mind, for me, that manifested as this. It manifested as, you know, me using my spirituality to help people, not just help myself, and then make it a living. You know, it's not easy, don't get me wrong. We all need to get more in touch with that, and she is giving the star as confirmation. And the star, well, it is reaching for the stars. It is potential, untapped potential. A lot of us, whether it is by world leaders or even just your bosses or whatever, it's just society as a whole, we're controlled. Illusion of freedom. It isn't real freedom. You've got to break free from it. And that's her message to us today. Babalon, the liberator. That's what I want to call her now. I do sometimes call Lilith that as well. And Lilith put an idea too in my head the other night to film a video about it. But that sort of archetype, because I do see Lilith and Babalon as very similar energies. Similar but different. You know, I've explained deities on the channel before. And I'm exploring these archetypes. You know, I've met with Lilith's sisters and things like this as well. It's that divine feminine side of us all, whether you're male or female or what. It's the side that can be nurturing, that can be kind and caring, but is often treated bad and demonized, and basically has to fight for basic needs, you know. And it's somebody, it's like the protective mother bear that, you know, is kind and nurturing and caring, but someone threatens her kids, whoosh, that's it. That's the way I'm feeling it anyways. But thank you to Babalon. That was the reading. I hope it helped. Thanks all for being here. If you made it this far, if you liked it, hit subscribe. I'm doing readings sporadically on the channel. And yeah, until next time, stay safe, stay witchy. Bye-bye.